How are you guys doing? Welcome to week 2. I am so glad you're still here. I hope the first week went wonderful. I know it was kind of getting into the routine of things and doing something completely new to all of us, and so I really appreciate that you guys are here and you're doing awesome. This week we are going to step it up a little bit and start to add in a little bit more to the lessons, a little bit more to the curriculum. It'll be kind of a feel it out thing. I'm not entirely sure how much they'll be able to handle, if I'm going to be doing too much or too little, so I'd really appreciate your feedback. If it is too much, or you can just tell like they're losing it, they're wiggling, they're not paying attention, throw it up on the TV, try somewhere different, let them watch it on an iPad outside or on your phone. The Canvas you should be able to do from any kind of mobile device, so you should be able to put it pretty much anywhere. But anyways, so as we start this week, if you do notice that they're getting a little bit like it's too much information, either stop it or try somewhere else or hit pause, even when I'm not saying to. Anything you can do, but here we go. All right, week 2. I will send you kind of a revised one of this in your email, so check your email box. There's a couple little things I tried to mark it in blue, but you just can't see it. I'm sorry. But I did kind of switch like 2 things around, I think. So if you don't print it off, it won't be a big deal. It should be really easy. But yeah, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to introduce to the kids, it's usually a huge hit in the beginning of the year, is our Little Mouse. So you can, I'm going to send it to you guys. And there's a little poem that goes with it, and it just says, little mouse, are you hiding in the, and then they have to guess which color house. So it's just kind of a fun way to review the colors, because they have to, you hide the little mouse without, so you have them turn around and close their eyes, and then you hide the little mouse. So they say, little mouse, are you hiding in the, and then they'll say green. Oh, not in the green. So you go through and they try to find where the little mouse is hiding. So you can, when you look at the document that I'll send you, you can print them out on colored paper. So there's bigger ones if you want to print them out onto the little houses onto colored paper. You can print them out onto white paper and color them, or let them color them or paint them. They probably think that was really fun. They can color or paint their little mouse if you don't want to print it out. And then you can use magnets on the fridge. You can tape them to the window, however you want to do it, but it's just kind of a fun little game if you don't have a pocket chart. Or a lot of times you can find these pocket charts in like the Target dollar spot or the dollar store itself. Sometimes you can get lucky and find them. But yeah, any of those options will work. And then the next thing we're gonna do on day 1 is the bingo dot names. So I'll show you, we used, my kids like bingo dots. So Jackson chose to do all one color. I wrote it in pencil first. I'm gonna show you, this is the one I'm gonna do with Olivia on our day 1. So I just wrote it in pencil, and then she loves to bingo dot. So I just did a couple of shapes that we're practicing. But you could do whatever, a star or zigzags or lightning bolt or Superman, whatever you want to do to let them bingo dot some extra if they like it. And I'll show you, Emma did it in a rainbow. So if you have lots of different colors of bingo dotters, you could let them do rainbow or a pattern depending on what, kind of what level they're at. And then the next thing will be to have them practice their names. So lots of name practice. So you can pull out and do, I said highlighter names on there just because sometimes that's just easier to use a yellow marker or highlighter to have them practice. Olivia really just liked this one. She was having fun being able to erase it with a dry erase marker. So whatever option sounds good to you. If your child is struggling to write their name, please send me a message. And I always have really silly ways of how to write the letters. Like we'll say a B is a lion with a big fat belly and things like that. So if they are struggling, just send me send me a little message and I can either record a quick little video for them of how they would need to write their name, or we could hop on Zoom together or FaceTime, whatever you have, just to kind of connect with them to help them, because that one can be a little bit stressful. Kids really want to write their name, but sometimes it can be really hard. So let me know if I can support you in that. Next up is our color hunt. We're gonna start our color hunt. Now, even if your child knows all of their colors, this is still a really fun activity. I think they'll still enjoy it, but I wanted to show you, this is what, I printed it too to a page just to save paper, but this is what the document looks like. And then, so day 1, we're gonna do blue. So this is what I'll give to Olivia. And then I'll just usually put it on like a little book or a clipboard or whatever you have. And then either one option is you can cut the little pieces and tape them all around the room, and then they have to go and search and find, or maybe put them outside, whatever you want to do. Or I thought, because I've got my 2 bigger kids, I didn't really want her like wandering all around while I'm also trying to teach my older kiddos. So I just put together, I had an extra one of these. They're like $1 at the dollar store or Target or wherever. And then I just had some leftover beans from our bean names. So I thought I would just hide these in here with the beans. And then she'll have to like search the beans to find one, and then she can pull one out and say, oh, I found the blue bear. And then she'll go and color the bear on her paper and then search for the next one and try to find all of them and color all of them. But you could put pasta or rice or whatever. If you're feeling fancy, you can even laminate the little color cards, and then you can hide them in like slime or Play-Doh or something fun like that. So have as much fun with it as you would like. But that is our color hunt. So each day we're going to color hunt a new color. I kind of move quickly through them because most kids know their colors, but it is kind of a way to review for the ones who don't, especially for the younger kiddos, like my 3-year-olds. Like my Olivia doesn't know all of her colors. I think she knows like 2. So I'll probably slow a little bit down with her and do a little bit more extra color stuff, since that's where she's struggling. But you can just breeze past it if it's easy for your kiddo. The last one for day 1 is the S is 4. So it's going to be in the A is 4 packet. It looks like this. I did it in black and white. Sorry, I didn't print it in color this time. And then the S paper, this is what the finished product will be like. Emma helped me do this one. They just trace their S's. And this is okay if this is scribbled on, because we're not even going to learn how to correctly write the letter S until the next day. So it's okay. It's just kind of to get them the idea to see if they can trace. And then they could also use, like I colored it with crayon and we did a marker tongue, but you could let them paint it or draw it or bingo dot it or whatever they wanted to do the S. And we drew a red tongue, and then we did a googly eye to finish them off. And then I'm also going to show the kids that they could use a marker to add stripes or polka dots or something to decorate it too. But that is day 1. So day 2 is, I'm going to try to go a little bit faster so you guys aren't sitting here so long watching me. Day 2 is kind of a similar thing. You're just going to need, as the bingo daughter names, either option depending on what kind of paper you have. You're going to write their name, get some cereal. My kids, whatever they like. The bigger ones, like the Fruit Loops, are easier for kiddos that are still working really hard on their fine motor skills. You could do a smaller cereal, like my daughter's favorites is chocolate cereal. So you could do this and let them, and same idea, just do the glue 1 letter at a time and let them cover them all up. The Fruit Loops is kind of fun because you can talk colors if you need to kind of review that. The letter S paper in poem, you will find that in, so my pre-K kiddos, my Sprouts, yours looks like this and it's orange. So it says pre-K alphabet worksheets. And my seedling kiddos, yours looks like this. And it is purple, but it says preschool alphabet. And I'll show you the difference here. So here's the letter S for pre-K. You can see there's a lot more S's on it. And this is the one for preschool. they're doing a little bit more coloring and a little less fine motor skill. And then the S's are easier to find. So on here, I just have them, you can bingo dot it, marker it, color it, X it out, whatever they want to do, find the S's. And the S's are in all different fonts, just to kind of get kids to start thinking about the fact that an S isn't always going to look like a perfect penmanship S. Or when we get into all the other letters, I try to get them to kind of understand that sometimes we write A's really funny, like we kind of have some different looking A's and things like that. So there's their letter S paper. Now, if they're still with you and loving it, I also added in the alphabet poems. And sorry, I forgot to print out what the cover looks like. But it says on there like ABC poems and stuff. So on the poems one, you can have them print this out. We're going to talk about the poem, and I'm going to do this paper with them so they don't have to have it. If they're just tired, they can just listen to me. But we're going to go over, and then using a yellow crayon or marker, we're going to search and find all of the S's, and then they can color the bottom. So that's the poem, but that one's kind of like a maybe, or save it for another day. It doesn't all have to be done right now. That's a lot of like intense learning for one situation. And then the red hunt is the same thing. You're just gonna go search and find the red page, and then I would just switch out my blue cards for my red cards in here. And usually you can get away with using the same thing for a couple of times. And then they're parts of an apple. We are going to explore an apple in true toddler preschooler fashion. Olivia took a bite out of my apple. But if you have an apple at home, we're going to talk about what they look like, how they feel, what we think the inside looks like, the stem, that sort of thing. We're going to talk about all the different parts, and then we're going to cut it in half and see what the inside looks like, and look at the seeds and the core and stuff like that, because sometimes we just hand kids the apple already cut up, so they've never seen the inside of the apple. So we're going to cut it up and look at the inside of the apple, and then we're also going to read our little story. And you guys can print these off yourself if you want to have them. They're kind of fun to hang up around the room. If you print them to a page, it'll make them a lot smaller and save you some ink. But I just wanted them big so the kids could see. And then if they're feeling up to it, you can also have them do the parts of an apple page, where they're just going to cut out the arrows and see if they can glue the arrows on with the arrows pointing to all the right things. And that is day 2. And then day 3, they're just going to start out with watercoloring their apple. This is in the apple packet as well. So they can watercolor it. If you don't have watercolors, you can get creative. Any kind of paint, markers, crayons, whatever you're feeling like. Then the Rip Paper rainbow names. Oh shoot, sorry. I don't have. So you're just going to use another like strip of paper. And the same idea, or you can do the smaller one depending on what kind of paper you have. And then you just let them get little bits of a piece of paper, and all we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about it in person, but when they're gonna start with red and do red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, depending on how many letters in their name they have. Like Jack's always just did red, yellow, orange. So, or red, orange, yellow, sorry. But like Olivia will get through the whole rainbow with her name. So, but anyways, the whole point of doing the rainbow Rip names is to really work on their fine motor skills. So I'm going to teach them that you put 2 fingers next to each other, one arm stays strong, and the other arm rips down. And this is so good for those finger skills and those finger muscles and all of that stuff. And a lot of kids can't rip paper. It's really frustrating for them. So go ahead and help them. It is kind of a longer project, so be aware that you might need to take a little break or do something else and then come back to it, or you might need to help them finish it. Some kids breeze through it, it's really easy and they're done, and then other kids need a little bit more support. So just go with it. And the same thing, I glue one letter at a time, and we do reds, and then I glue it, we'll do orange, and I'll glue it, we'll do yellow, and we'll just move on through the alphabet. And they don't need very much paper, like a little bit is fine. And I just tell them to rip up maybe like the size of their fingernail, just little pieces to stick onto the letters. So that is rainbow names. And then I'll show you, when I do it with the kids, I'll show you a finished product. I forgot to grab it. And then their Munster color book looks like this. So you just print it off. It looks like this on the document that I sent you. So you just print off the Munster colors, you cut it in half, and then there's 2 lines, and you just staple on the lines, and you have a little book. Now, we're gonna be working on this for like 3 weeks. This is a longer project, and the colors are not in rainbow order, so we just open it up and we talk about it. My kids that are ready, we start to notice, we trace those letters and we start to notice, okay, what color do you think this Munster is if it starts with a g, g, g? And we talk about the sounds and the words and we see if we can sound it out. We try to figure out what color is that Munster. So he's green, and then we'll color green. And if they're done for the day, then be done. If they're ready to do another color, do another color. I think if you did a couple Munsters a day or a couple Munsters a week, you'd finish it in the next couple weeks like we hope to. So there's your color Munster book. And then the last part will be, we're going to do, and you can make this, it's in the Apple packet, but they're little game boards if you want to, and I laminated mine. You don't have to. I just wanted mine to last for lots of years. So you can print off the little game board and then cut out the little triangle or the little arrow pieces, and then this way they can have fun labeling like they did yesterday with the paper, but now they can just play with it for fun and see if they can do it by themselves to put all the parts touching where they belong. So that's the apple part that we're going to do again, and we'll just review all the parts of the apple. And then if they're not exhausted and just wanting to be done, then they can do this apple page, parts of an apple from the Apple packet. So this one's a little bit trickier. They need to be able to read the words down there at the bottom. Sorry, it's hard to see. And they'll cut those out and then try to figure out, okay, there's a little arrow and he's pointing to the seed. Can you figure out which word says seed? And we'll talk about it in our lesson too, but I just wanted you to know what that was. So they can just listen to me if they're done for the day, or they can try to do it with me if they feel ready for it. But, whew, that's it. Yeah, if you have any questions or you need any help, please reach out, and I hope you guys have a super awesome week. Bye.